Oh my gosh, so much has been happening in the last week, and most of it is because of us having just so much activity on the farm. I feel like there's months and months that pass by where we're just walking around the farm, feeding animals, collecting eggs, not doing very much else than that. I mean, we built a chicken coop, but you know, it's just day-to-day life, and then something crazy happens and it's nonstop action. So, we've got some new additions here to the farm. This is Mama, and over here, there's babies, and you're a good girl. Yeah, she's a good girl. And I like her so much better as a mom. She has always been pretty feisty, but as a mom, she's been really, really good to her babies. So I'll tell the story of everything that happened, and I'll give you kind of an idea of our setup here on the farm and what we do with our Idaho pasture pigs. And I'll give you the rundown. So we have a really big setup here. This is our shed and our chicken barn that we just recently built, and around it we have our fencing set up. This is our boar, and his name is Disco. He's been down rolling in the swamp and causing a lot of trouble out there in the forest. And then in here is where we have our farrowing pen. It's separated from him by electric wire, cattle panels, and then electric wire on the inside as well. And so on Sunday morning, I started to get the inkling that Barry was going to be having her babies. And so I went into her pen. I tested her milk line to see if she was producing milk at all. And she was. Finally, we'd been waiting since Christmas for her to show that she was producing. And she was finally producing. And that generally means, from everything that anybody's ever said, 20, 18, maybe 10 hours until the pig has babies. And so we're like, okay, great. I thought to myself, man, we really shouldn't go to church. But I figured, hey, if it's 20 hours, I'll be getting up in the middle of the night. I might as well go to church and then come back. And so we went to church, had a great time, worshiping Jesus, and then telling everybody, oh yeah, we're going to go back home and hopefully deliver pigs tonight. But when we got home, oh my gosh, she had already had the entire litter of pigs. There was one stillbirth that, had we not been at church, maybe we could have rescued. I'm not sure what the deal was, but it looked like maybe it was rolled over on, not really sure what happened. So that was unfortunate, but there were 5 piglets in the pen with her, and she was still obviously in very active labor. She was having contractions. It looked like she had passed a little bit of the afterbirth, but not all of it. And so we're like, okay, well, we need to support her as best as we can right now. And so I kind of went in there. I told the kids, Lewis was with me. I told the kids, go get mom. She had gone in the house from church. Go get mom. We need to go in here and we need to see what's going on with the pigs. Bring the piggy kit. A week before, we had made up a piggy kit, and I'll have to do another video on what actually was included in our piggy kit, and talk to you about kind of what the deal with that was. But we were told, it's really cold out. It's in the 30s. If you want the best survival rate for your pigs, you need to go ahead and go iodine dip their cords because they're prone to infection, and then give them some Nutri-Drench just to get their if anything's low on nutrients, that they have something to start on, and then maybe even give them a little 5 mils of colostrum just to get them started, just in case they have a hard time nursing. Now, all of that is great. That's to increase the survival rate of your pigs. Your pigs can definitely have their babies all by themselves with no intervention, and most of them will probably survive if the mom is good. There's pigs out in the wild that survive every day. They go into heat every 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days. And, they have those, they don't go into heat. They actually have a litter of piglets at that time. They farrow at that time. And, they do fine. So in my mind, I was kind of like, it's cold, we need to do these things just because we want to increase the survival rate. And the things, you know, definitely I think helped. We didn't lose anybody. But as we were working around, we noticed there were only 5 piglets. And then one of my kids said, "Oh my gosh, Dad, there's a piglet out by the fence." And sure enough, a piglet had gone out underneath, out of the pen. We had a little lean-to set up, and it was up against the wire of the outside pen. So we grabbed that piglet, threw it back on the mom. It started, you know, being active and nursing, so I was pretty happy with that. And then I realized, man, what we have set up here is really not adequate. And I'll show you kind of here our setup and what we end up doing. So this is our monstrosity right now. This is our pig monstrosity. And it's just 2 pallets, 2 pallets, 2 pallets, you know, 6 total pallets here. And it's set up in a square. And then we've got a cord running with some heat lamps. And it's kind of overkill because, you know, we kind of recognized that pigs really don't need this amount of infrastructure to survive. But it is really cold here, and it's gotten down to the low 20s every single night for the last night. So again, I'm just trying to ensure survivability for my pigs. I don't think everybody needs a setup like this, but it is kind of what worked for us. And then we put these boards across the front, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But we wrapped the entire thing just in plastic and a tarp from the dollar store and stapled it on. And then every night I just come and I put the plastic over the front so that, you know, they're kind of closed in and the heat can stay in there a little bit more. So, of course, that first night, I'm pretty happy that we've got everybody in and they're doing well. And I realize probably about right after dinner, we had been outside like after church from 3 o'clock all the way until after dinner time, like 6:30. Realized, okay, we need to go get some dinner. We need to feed everybody, and we need to get going inside. So we packed everything up. We got back inside. I put my dog out, and about half an hour later, I just hear barking, 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 barking. I'm like, what is going on? So I come out of my house, and I hear a pig squealing in the bushes. And so a piglet was squealing in the bushes. And so I jump over this little situation here, and I go down around the back to look and see what's going on. And of course, our boar here, Disco, is a pretty good boy. He's a definitely like a good dad. But down here, and I've got my guard stick. Do you want to be scratched? He is a sucker. Watch out, you're gonna hit the fence. He's a sucker for getting scratched. And he may look filthy dirty. He's been down in the swamp, but he loves it, and he loves going down there, and he loves getting all cool. This is how pigs keep themselves cool and deal with parasites and whatnot. So down here is this gully that just drains off from the back of the property, and you can see up here everything that's going on. And so I just run, and I kind of fall down this gully here, and I don't see anything at all. And I kind of just run down the edge, and I'm like, oh my gosh, where is this piglet? So I go up in the pen with her, and I'm looking, and there's only 5 piglets, and I'm like, I know I had 6 piglets. I even looked back in my phone to just check the number of piglets and make sure of what's going on. And sure enough, there's a piglet missing. And I'm about to go inside. I'm like, maybe she ate the piglet. Maybe, you know, he ate the piglet. I don't know. He's outside the fence. And I'm like, I don't know necessarily what happened, but something happened to this piglet. So I'm like, I'm going to go inside and tell Hannah. I think she ate one of her piglets. Maybe it was a runt or something. And so just as I'm about to go inside, I hear a piglet squeal in the bushes. And so I run down here. I jump over the fences again. I run down, and I kind of fall down this ditch. I fall down here, and I try to go through to see where this piglet is. And it's like right up here on this ridge. Disco is standing he's standing over the piglet, and he's protecting it, and it's standing over down here about to fall down the hill. And I jump down here, and he doesn't want me to touch the piglet because he's concerned that I'm trying to get his son or his daughter. I don't even know which one it was. He's concerned that I'm trying to get the piglet. And so I try to reach for it, and he doesn't want me to reach for it. And so I just, I slapped him. I slapped him on the butt really hard. He ran just a little bit of ways, and then he came back. I slapped him on the butt again. I didn't have a stick or anything. And then I grabbed the piglet, and it started screaming so loud, and he got upset, and he started he was about to chase me. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta go. So I'm down here in this gully, and I just run up here with the piglet, half running, half climbing. He's behind me. He's like, what are you doing? And I run out of this area. And I jump over the electric fence, and I bring the piglet back to mom. And it's absolutely ridiculous, the amount of excitement that gave me. So you would think that would give me, that would be all the excitement. But then just a couple days later, actually the next night, I kind of realized that one of the pigs is not doing good. One of the piglets is not doing good. And it's the little black pig here that we named Patience. And so Patience is just like, she's cold, she's lethargic, she's not nursing, and I'm like, she got to come in the house. All the other piglets are rooting around, they're active. Patience is not moving around. So Patience comes in the house. She comes in the house at maybe 11:30 on Sunday night, and all night long I watch Patience like every 2 hours. I've got her in a box with a heater next to it. I just can't get her warm enough or the heater directed enough at her to keep her warm. And it's like a directional heater where it kind of puts out on the sides, but it goes up more. And so I was really not getting her as warm as I'd like. I didn't have a heating pad. And so I tried and tried to get her warm and to eat, and she just wouldn't accept it. I thought she was gonna die. And so I ended up staying up all night long with her until about 5 a.m. and then I said, okay, I gotta get a couple hours of sleep. So I went to sleep and got up the next morning at 7:30, and she was out of her box trying to walk around the kitchen. So obviously she had warmed up somewhat, but just not ideally the right amount. And we got a heating pad and put her on the heating pad, and that made such a huge difference. She laid down and she slept for hours. Every 2 hours I try to wake her up and feed her colostrum, and that really seemed to make a big difference in just her getting her energy back. I also took molasses and I rubbed it on her gums and put some on her tongue, and that just has a lot of great minerals and sugars, so that's good energy, good iron, everything to get a baby pig going. And so pretty soon she started refusing to eat because she was just too active. She wanted to be up, she wanted to be running around. She did not want to be bottle feeding and being held still while she bottle fed. And I couldn't teach her to pan feed. She's just a little bit too early to pan feed. So I ended up bringing her out on one of the days when it got up to the mid 60s, and I got her out here and she started feeding, and then I never had to bring her back in. So I was super happy with her recovery because 6 piglets is just not a lot of pigs when it comes down to the fact that any one of them could, pass away. And then, all of them could pass away potentially. So we're just trying to protect our investment here. And that was from Sunday night, overnight onto Monday, and then Tuesday she went back in. So I had 2 nights of just trying to keep her alive. And then on Tuesday night, I was finally able to get a full night's sleep. Wednesday night, I come out here and it's really cold. I hear just from all the way over by her pen, all the way over by the house, I hear just snoring out of the pig pen. I'm like, wow, she is really, really loud. Why is she snoring so much? And so I'm like, I need to figure out what's going on. So I go out to the pig pen and I'm like, what's going on? I get inside here and there's smoke pouring out of the pig pen. And apparently she rubbed up on one of the lamps enough that she busted the metal fixture on it and dropped it into the hay. Thankfully they have a guard over them, but it still burnt some of the wet hay significantly enough to make it smoke. So I'm, jumping the pig pen, I'm raking out, smoking and burning hay with my hands. And in a couple minutes, I fanned out all the smoke. She was fine. The babies were fine. And then I rewired all the lamps. I feel like that is such an amateur mistake for me to make, to not have wired those up in the first place to make sure that they don't fall down. But that is a mistake that I won't make again. And thankfully, I didn't come out here to see the whole thing on fire. But those are the kinds of things that are happening right now. Just an insane amount of action around the farm. Usually it's pretty quiet. Usually the most crazy thing that we deal with is the electric fence going out for some reason and the pigs getting out and knocking over the food barrel and eating the food. And that's like kind of the only thing that we deal with. But since we've had piglets, it's been a lot of adventure. It's been a lot of fun. So who knows what will happen next? We'll let you know. Hannah just told me to come out here and pick a bunch of arugula and kale and whatever we have out here. This is kind of our cold weather garden. I've been thinking about making a big video about how we got from the camper into the house here. And I think I do need to do it. After all, our YouTube channel was named Wild Road Home, and Wild Road Home was just about finding the place that we wanted to live and belong. And so there is a big story there that I do need to work on telling. But there's a lot of life going on. There's a lot of pigs running around, a lot of kids running around, a lot of stuff like that. So this is on our property here, Wild Ridge Ranch, and there's a story to tell there too that I just got to work on. So stick around. Be glad to tell you about it later. Bye.